got more super chats here. Kaiju Gamer says thoughts on the TwitchCon accident the other day. We talked a little bit about that last night on Culture Stream, and we watched the video. Boy,
I heard.
What?
Where's the video? I haven't seen it.
Let's bring up the video.
Let's say Culture. Go ahead,
and
if you can, please. At least
especially
the one with the tailbone. So yeah, what happened is they had, I think it was up to 4 people got injured on this stupid American Gladiators wannabe fucking game they were doing at this event, and one person actually broke their tailbone. Oh, they were saying that she broke her back.
Oh no, it was far worse than the tailbone.
Well, it's more or less her tailbone, but she had some issues with it as well. But like, because there was some people who were arguing about it online, so that's why I'm trying to be more specific.
I think she needed spinal fusion surgery.
She had to have a rod.
Get that for a tailbone.
Oh,
well, I don't know about fusion, but I don't know the specifics of that. But you'd have to bring that up.
Well, basically, you have to get like a metal rod inserted to keep the spine.
Well, she is getting a rod. Yes, that
yeah.
She said that
you don't get that for a broken tailbone.
And then 6 says check out the last.
All right, I placed the link to it in the, because I can't bring it up properly. I placed the link to it in the private chat, and then I actually have a separate image that I actually can share of what the ball pit was. This is bonkers. This thing is called TwitchCon, I guess. This event, and we did talk about it rather extensively last night. Let's see, is that the right one? Yeah. This is part of the problem. This was improperly constructed. This is the
before we play the video. Don't play the video yet. Yeah, Chris, Culture, take us through this video here.
Oh, okay.
How has this been constructed?
Well, this is actually okay. So when you build a foam pit or any kind of pit, ball pit, whatnot, you have to leave an appropriate amount of gap with open space underneath. Usually you use a trampoline that is kind of the intermediary between the foam and like the bottom of the pit. And there's usually several foot. In this instance, this is just foam blocks thrown on top of a cement floor. It's approximately, well, what does that look like to you? 18 inches maximum, perhaps a foot.
So basically, it's like 2 foam blocks of depth, and then it's straight down to the concrete floor right underneath.
Right. And because of obviously many different factors, including the fact that, these are larger boxes, foam boxes than he probably should have put in here in the first place. The video that I shared, that again, I shared the link to because I can't share the video for some reason, but they were essentially hopping in there, and the person that got terribly injured and needed the rod inserted actually went, butt first, is for lack of a better way to describe it.
We have the video here. Like Tom,
okay.
If you can check the private chat, Culture has to tweet with the video in here.
Yeah, I thought that's what he was sharing here. That's
no. This is just
that's just a picture.
Yeah, this is just a pit, right? And there's I may be able to bring up
there was
another
better.
image.
I was saying there was better ones that actually showed the levels and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I actually have a picture that shows how it should have been built.
Well, beyond the back one, we also had a couple people. I think we had a couple broken legs and a dislocated
knee. Yeah, dislocated knee.
So this is the worst of them, though.
This is a really bad one.
What's the name of this woman again?
Chechik, Adriana Chechik. She's an adult film actress, or was. Yeah. I don't know what now, but
okay, well, she may have to retire after this.
Well, let's just say there was plenty of jokes.
Adriana, that's what it is. Adriana Chechik.
Yeah, I had to Google her, but apparently she's a current Twitch streamer. That's why she was at TwitchCon. But her claim to fame is being an adult performer.
Right.
And she's won multiple awards, and she is known for some pretty extreme backdoor action. Let's put it that way.
So this rod thing should be a walk in the park for her.
That's what I was just saying.
Those are the jokes.
The jokes, there's plenty of jokes, yes, and that, yeah. Well, anyway, here's the video.
Oh my God! Big some sense of her own. You good?
And I have it turned down a little bit, but if you have it turned up loud enough, you can hear the crack. And she's saying there she can't get out and she can't get up.
She's held down by the Biffle medic. No, she's fine.
No, she's fine. Yeah.
No, she's
Make sure she's okay. Get her out of the pit.
Landed on her tailbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she landed directly on her tailbone. So one more time, just in case anybody missed it. Yeah.
that's jumping as high up in the air as you can and then landing straight on your butt.
Yikes!
And then this is what I was talking about here. Yep.
Yeah. This is how you would properly build a foam pit like this, right? You can see there's a trampoline bed below that. There's foam pylons, but there's a significant depth there, and obviously some give. It's not a cement floor. So I would say that TwitchCon has a questionable future.
They're going to get sued.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Yeah,
it's not good. Yeah, she might actually make as much money in lawsuit as she earned in any of her careers, I would say. But and
rightfully so, because if you get to the point where you actually need to have a rod inserted, because apparently she broke her spine in 2 places, and the moment that you have any kind of like back injury, anything that requires rods or any kind of surgical intervention at all, really, chances are you're not going to be quite what you were before afterwards. Especially not as you get older. So that's pretty brutal and pretty irresponsible of TwitchCon.
Well, and that's the thing. I can't imagine Twitch. I mean, they're going to be held. I mean, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a safety inspector, but I'm sure there's a lot of insurance things that are not going to cover this. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of lawsuits, and I don't think Twitch is probably as big of a platform as a lot of other corporations are. So I wonder how this will affect them in the long run, because I can smell the lawsuits coming.
They're actually Twitch is actually owned by Amazon, Tom.
Oh,
that means that the lawsuits will definitely be coming, because there's a lot of money to collect then.
Absolutely.
With a big corporate owner.
There's plenty of money there.
Yeah. Just another bad word.
And this is what I'm saying, because no matter what waiver you signed, it does not account for negligence, and that is pure. And when you got one person getting hurt, that's a coincidence. You got 4 people getting hurt, and one of them is now requiring back surgery. You have an issue there. Like that's more than just a coincidence.
Yeah, no waiver in the world is going to help that. Like those waivers in this situation, they ain't worth the paper they're printed on.
It's bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's lucky that I was muted when you said she has to have a rod inserted. I just the jokes write themselves, but at least,
especially given her former career,
right? But at least she didn't get her head stuck in a dryer, which I know.
I've seen that video.
I've seen. This happens constantly with a lot of women in work in that industry.
It's an epidemic.
They get trapped in certain situations, and at least she's going to end up being fine, and I assume that there'll be a settlement.
Yeah,
I would imagine that financially is going to be the best thing that ever happened to her.
Well, I got to ask Chris, because I got to imagine when you worked on G4, you guys did similar stuff to this. I got to imagine that a lot of safety precautions and stuff were taken, though, when you guys would do kind of these kind of, I don't know what you call them, like a stunt or a whatever kind of thing, but.
This is terrible.
I think he's muted or he's not there.
Yeah, they actually had an ankle break, a dislocated knee, all kinds of problems. This thing's a mess.
Yeah, that looks like it was just an accident waiting to happen, and
or several.
Oh, do you realize who else is involved in this? That could be held culpable.
Who?
Intel and Lenovo.
Oh God. Well, those companies all have money. She's going to end up being fine.
Well, that was one of the things is they said that they threw this together like at the nearly last minute. It sounded like And that's what I was asking you, Chris, when you guys would do stuff like this for G4, like, wouldn't you guys prepare and do a lot of like safety checks and all kinds of other things? I mean, wouldn't that be one of the first things that you guys would worry about?
I mean, I wasn't really involved in that. You're talking about like Ninja Warrior.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm sure you were.
But we did stupid things on the set of, Attack of the Show, and they took whatever precautions they did. But Captain Pereira got really hurt one time when he jumped on a giant balloon that exploded, and he went face first from about 2.5, maybe 3 feet in the air, face first into the cement floor.
Ouch.
So, yeah. And he had to get checked out at the hospital. He was fine, but
see, and that's something I'm sure that you couldn't even prepare for. But that's what I was asking is I'm like, even sure when you guys would just do the little like skits or whatever, like I said, I didn't want to call them stunts or whatever, but like, like whatever you would call them, like, yeah, you guys would, I'm sure, would try to prepare for whatever outcome that could happen or possible safety precaution. You would think that these guys running an organization like this, where you actually have people involved in stuff like this, that you would maybe test some of this stuff out or make sure it was up to standards of some type, or I don't know. It just, to me, the whole thing felt like it was very poorly put together.
Yeah, I just think it was poorly put together, and there weren't a lot of adults in the room, and it was something that was not done with like, just having done a game show. I had to go to a game show camp and talk to lawyers about the correct way to like even talk to contestants or act on a game show set, because when there's money involved, there were those, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Quiz Show.
Yeah.
But
great
film. Really good film. And that's, they take precautions like that, like when it comes to legal, they take it very seriously. This was something at a convention. I can't imagine that there were the same kind of precautions that would be taken on a real TV show. Right. So
corners were cut. Nobody did any research, I would guess. That again, I'm guessing, not making a statement of fact. But I mean, there should have been some realization, drop a bowling ball into the foam, et cetera, et cetera. Do something to like test this out to make sure it's not going to injure somebody. But man,
also, I suspect she may have had a mic pack, because something similar happened to me. There's a video of me around you can find where I fell on my back in a really stupid way at a video store. And I had the mic pack. The mic pack hit me in the back, and it freaking hurt. I wasn't injured, like worth going to the hospital. It just really hurt for a couple days, but got a nice bruise. But it looks like from watching that video, she has a mic pack, and she probably landed on the mic pack. And that's what caused that pain. Right.
That could be, but still,
he landed wrong.
Just a fall from that height, that's gonna hurt with or without the mic pack. But of course, that might make it even worse.
Okay, I don't want to think about it, because I've taken my share of tumbles, by the way. So I'm like geek. But so somebody's gonna be sad at the end of this, and it isn't going to be Adriana. So.
Right.
So, Andre, what else was there? Anything?
No, there wasn't anything else other than this thing here with the injuries at TwitchCon or whatever it was. I was reading about it behind the scenes here, and I think there's going to be even more money to the people injured here, because you know what this whole thing was? A promo collaboration between Intel and Lenovo.
Oh,
and
fuck.
Both of those have quite a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And that has since been closed because of injuries, but also because, and this is the spin, attendees had been using it to break rules. So, Amazon, Lenovo, and Intel together made that pit right there. So, ka-ching for those involved.
What a pit.
Oh, yeah.